Welcome to Cleaning the Litter Box with Dr. Fluffy, and today we're looking at a feminist that shits all over the concept of gender. So we're going to take a look at her brilliant arguments and rebut them one by one, shall we? This should be fun. This completely shouldn't take any of my years of my life. God, why do I do this to myself?
Okay, it's quite a topical issue recently, so we need to fucking talk about pronouns. Pronouns are words which take the space of a noun, so instead of saying the clunky sentence, Holly went to the shop and Holly bought a can of drink, you could say, Holly went to the shop and they bought a can of drink.
I could, but it would be wrong, because they is plural. Plural. I would say she bought a can of drinks.
You would say they, because I use they them pronouns.
What you use is irrelevant because pronouns is not something that you use, it's something that other people use to describe you. And because you look like a female, maybe you have XX chromosomes, or maybe you had XY but you transitioned to a female, you look like a female, we will call you by the pronouns that apply to a female.
Let's get down to the fucking basics. You use the pronouns that someone wants you to use that correspond with the gender they identify as. I'm personally agender.
No, you are not, because there's no such thing as someone who's agender. You only have two genders, male and female. And those genders normally match the biological sex of the person. The only time they do not match the biological sex of a person is someone suffers from gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is a condition where the brain doesn't match the sex of the person. This is a genetic problem, but it happens. But it's still in a binary scale.
I use they them pronouns. To use other pronouns for me is just fucking wrong.
No, it is not. Calling you anything else than she would be wrong. Because you look like a girl. You probably are a girl. I'm sorry to tell you, but no. Calling you anything else, it is wrong. Now, people can be nice to you and call you whatever you want, but it's still wrong.
They them isn't my preferred pronouns, they are my pronouns. If you're not using them, you're just referring to me incorrectly.
No, they are not. Your correct pronouns are the pronouns that match your biological sex or the sex you transition to. Anything else is your preference, and people don't give a fuck about your preference. Neither they should.
You wouldn't refer to the cis guy you went to high school with as she, because obviously he doesn't use she, her, hers pronouns.
No, I don't call him a she because he has a dick and he has XY chromosomes. Period. You have a vagina, female pronouns. You have a dick, male pronouns. Regardless if you were born with the dick or with the vagina. What matters is the organ you have right now.
And just as using the wrong pronouns for someone who is cis, meaning cisgender, meaning identifying with the gender they were assigned at birth as,
there is no such thing as cisgender. That's a term that these crazy ideologues created to type of distinguishing themselves of normal people. But no, you're not assigned a gender at birth. You are born with that gender. You are born with it. X, Y, X, X. It's chromosomes that determine your fucking gender. It's genetics.
Is offensive, it is even more offensive to transgender people. But why would it be more offensive? Because it's a fucking act of aggression and disrespect against someone who probably already endures multiple acts of erasure, disrespect and violence in their everyday life just because of how they identify and live.
Now, this actually needs to be taken down in two parts. First, I don't care if you're offended. I'm a scientist. I care what's true and what's false. And calling people by anything else than the gender binary, it's false. Second, you're again trying to use transsexual people, real transsexual people, people that transition from one gender to the other, to justify the non-binary scale that has nothing to do with real transgender, transsexual people. You people are not transgender. You people are just crazy. You people are just insane. You people are just false victims. And while real transsexual people have experienced and still experience some discrimination today, words for you people do not equate to violence or aggression or anything like that. And you people are actually making life harder for real transgender and transsexual people by creating this false stupidity and forcing people to actually almost despise transsexual people. People that just want to be accepted by the community as the other gender. But you guys try to make more rules and you paste them together with real transsexual people and make life harder for them. And that's disgusting.
Okay? It's not okay. Let's take Caitlyn Jenner, for example, who recently just came out as trans and was on the cover of Vanity Fair, as everyone probably knows because it's a very hot topic right now. To refer to Caitlyn as anything other than she, her, herself is wrong, even if you're referring to her 20, 30 years ago. She is a she identifies as a she has always been a she is just only now allowed to actually identify and present that way.
Caitlyn Jenner transitioned to a female, so now you use female pronouns. But before, no. She was a man, and you refer to her as male pronouns. It's not about her identifying as. She transitioned. She did the treatments. She is doing the treatments. She is changing her morphology to match the gender. And it's in the binary scale. Did you notice that it is in a binary scale? She transitioned from one gender to the other because there's only two genders.
Gendering people through the implied gender of pronouns can be extremely hurtful and cause extreme gender dysphoria in people.
No, gender dysphoria is the thing that causes transsexuality. Gender dysphoria is a condition, it's a mental disorder that is genetic, that causes people to think they are from the opposite gender that they were born with. Their brains work as the opposite sex, so they have to transition. It's not mislabeling people that causes gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is the thing that changes gender in like a minority of people, like 0.3% or less of the population.
And guess what? You don't know if someone you have just met might be trans, might just use different pronouns, or might experience gender dysphoria. You don't know that.
No, it shouldn't be, because if it is transgender, then it transitioned to another sex, and it should look morphologically as the sex they want to identify with. Like Caitlyn Jenner was a man, now looks like a woman. She. Simple, right? And in 0.3% of the people that transition, it shouldn't be any problem to you can almost live your entire life without actually encountering a gender name problem.
So, guess what you do to avoid gendering them? You use neutral pronouns. Wow, who would have thunk it? The most common pronouns which are considered neutral are they, them, their, themselves. Before you jump in with, but them is plural, you use that to refer to more than one person. No, you don't always. It can also be singular. Fucking ask a linguist.
They could be used as singular in poetry, like centuries ago, or thousands of years ago. So no, you cannot use those words as singular. No. And they are in... just, no, stop it.
You're wrong. You probably already use they, them as a singular pronoun, you just don't realize it. Imagine your friend just got off the phone with a doctor, and you don't know who their doctor is. You would say, oh no, what did they say?
And that is wrong. It's what did he say. When people refer to what did they say, they're implying multiple doctors.
There we go. You just used it singularly. Things not to do that goddamn s-he, she, he thing. That's just silly and incorrect and offensive.
I don't care if it is offensive. You're being stupid and you're trying to make yourself into something that you're not, then people will make fun of you. And that's human nature.
Or use it. Some people might use it pronouns, but normally it's considered extremely dehumanizing.
But it kind of becomes fitting because you're dehumanizing yourselves, because the Homo sapiens is a dimorphic species with dimorphism and with a binary scale of gender. You have male and female and they are dimorphic. So, di from two, morphism from differences in morphology. So, if you're going outside that biological scale, then you are dehumanizing yourself. You're saying you are actually not human.
And really awful, because guess what? People aren't objects. Now you might be going, oh, but if I'm supposed to not gender people, how do I know what gender they are and how to refer to them?
Simple. If they look like a girl, call them by pronouns that are for female. If they look like a boy, pronouns for male. If they tell you they are not either, you ask for a genetic exam for them to show you they have something different than XX or XY chromosomes. Fuck them. Simple.
Guess what? You ask them. Don't just say, are you a boy or a girl? Because some people are neither, and also that might be none of your fucking business.
They can't be neither, because there's only two. I cannot repeat this more times. There's only two genders that are based on two biological sexes. Period. Fine.
But you can start out by saying, hi, sorry, what pronouns do you use? If they don't understand what you're saying, good chance to give them a little education in transgender issues.
I'm giving you a little education in transgender issues right now. Like, for example, your idiotic belief in a non-binary scale does not actually match transgender issues, because transgender are people that change from one gender to the other. Because there's only two genders. Easy, isn't it? It's talk to me like two genders, X, 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 Y, and then gender dysphoria, transitioning from one to the other. Okay.
Asking people's pronouns should definitely be common etiquette. And what do you do if you misgender someone? Just quickly apologize and correct yourself, as you would do with one of your cis friends.
That depends if I'm actually wrong. See, if I called you a girl and you tell me, oh no, it's wrong, it's them, I will tell you, no, you're a fucking Murray, it's she because you look like a girl and you are a girl. And them is not a singular pronoun. And if you tell me, oh no, I'm offended, I will tell you, fuck you, I don't care.
Okay, I've got to go back to my life of being a terrifying trans person that's going to uproot the government and change marriage.
Now, fun question. Are you transitioning from what to what? Because you look like a girl, you still sound like a girl, and you look like you're morphologically a girl. So, are you doing the hormonal treatment to transition to a boy? Are you already cut your tits off? Did you already make a fake penis? So why the hell are you transsexual? Unless you were a boy and you transitioned to a girl. If that's the case, congratulations, it was a successful transition. You actually look like a girl. So congrats.
Actually, I've got to go do my washing and write some essays because it's exam period. Hope you're all having a lovely day. Hope you'll be nice in the comments. If you don't, I'll probably delete them. Okay, see you later.
Of course you will. We all know that your YouTube channel is a safe space because you're a feminist. Now seriously, this is very sad because this is what happens when people take gender studies instead of taking biology and things like that, because you learn things that are just ideology instead of actually getting knowledge on the real world. Because the reality, it's always simple in a biological sense, and these people deny biology to become false victims. This girl is not a victim of anything except her bad choices in life and indoctrination, and it's sad. So I do advise people that watch this video to also watch my War on Gender video, where I explain better gender dysphoria, intersex, and all these things do not create different genders, and how transsexual people and transgender people are not as these non-binary people that they try to place them together. So they say that, oh, say they are non-binary, so they are trans, but they are not. And that's it for today. If you comment on our page, please be civil, don't be mean. Let's try to make civil debate a thing that is possible. And finally, stay fluffy.